What up, everybody? It's Aaron with Robert, and this is Get Your Geek on Talkin Geek.
And this week, we're talking DC fandom. We're talking MCU. The Eternals came out, but also a bunch of other movies maybe not coming out as soon as we would have wanted.
Cry.
We're talking WB Batwoman controversy with Ruby Rose. And we're talking Uncharted got its first trailer. So there's a lot to talk about.
There is, and there's so much to go over, man.
I know.
The last week and a half or so has just been crazy.
Yeah.
So the DC fandom, we're not gonna get into it too deep. It's already been out for about a week now.
Yeah.
We're just gonna talk about a trailer each that we both enjoyed, I think.
And I think before, here's a quick rundown of just some of the things that were shown. So we got a Peacemaker trailer. We got Black Adam footage. We got a first look at Gwendolyn Christie in the Sandman series that's coming to Netflix. We got some behind-the-scenes footage from Aquaman. We got a little bit of footage from The Flash. We got a little bit of concept stuff from Harley Quinn Season 3. We got Shazam behind the scenes. And, of course, we got the big Batman trailer. And that's just a taste of what they gave it at Fandom. So there was a ton of stuff there. We're not going to talk about all of it. But yeah, we each picked out kind of one thing that we really wanted to talk about. So you want to go first? You want me to go first?
Go first. I like yours.
Okay. So I thought one of the things that I really don't know anything about this character, but I really did like the first Shazam movie, and I know that Black Adam is kind of, introduced as his kind of main antagonist. He's kind of also a little bit of an anti-hero, a little bit.
Over the last 10 years, he's gotten that route.
But I like The Rock. I think he's a very charismatic actor. He's been in a lot of not very good movies. But I kind of like him. And so I've been looking forward to this. And so getting this first, we got about a minute of footage where it's basically the introduction to the character of Black Adam. And without really knowing anything about him, I really enjoyed that footage. I thought it was really cool. Just the way that, he was kind of introduced and the power he was showing off, just totally, he turned someone basically into dust, but not the Thanos kind. So
took a little bit longer to fly him.
I thought it was really cool. And I'm definitely looking forward to this and looking forward to them building these characters to come together. Because I think Zachary Levi's Shazam is a super fun character, and I think it'll be really fun to see them go up against one another. And I like The Rock, so I'm definitely looking forward to it. And I thought the footage was pretty cool.
Yeah, and I agree. And this is going to be a straight. If they do fight, it's a straight even match. Except Black Adam has been around for a very long time. He is a very old person, essentially. I don't know how old he is, but I want to say he comes around from the Pharaoh times, maybe a little bit after that.
Yeah.
So it's going to be, even power-wise, they will be evenly matched. But now we have experience. Mm-hmm. Someone who's used these powers for eons, essentially, and is going to know how to control them and way better than Shazam.
Also can't be turned into a child by saying the word Shazam.
No, he says Shazam, he's still The Rock, and he's still scary.
Shazam!
Shazam! He didn't change, guys. He still looks huge. Because he's The Rock. Oh, crap.
He's still giant.
He went from boulder to rock. That's all he did.
Oh, my God. I'm the one that's supposed to make the dad jokes around here. Did it, though?
I liked it.
Okay.
But I like the trailer, yeah. Shazam is an anti-hero now over the last maybe 10
Black
years.
Adam,
or Black Adam, I'm sorry. Black Adam's, for the last 10 years or so, he's been billed as an anti-hero, kind of I almost feel like they kind of made him the Doctor Doom route. I'm more about my country. Because he wants to protect his country. Doctor Doom isn't essentially
Doctor Doom is
anymore.
100% a villain.
They're billing him as the anti-hero
100% a villain.
They're still
just because he sometimes joins the Illuminati and they don't know what his underlying motive is, doesn't mean he doesn't have an underlying motive to take over the world. Because Doctor Doom is definitely evil.
Okay, he might be a little evil.
Again, I don't know about Black Adam because I don't really know much about
Black
the character.
Adam's not that evil. But I mean, I guess my comparison is more of they want to try to make it he's not really a bad guy. He's just doing this for his country. He's doing this for the right reasons. It's just, and I don't mind killing you to do it. And I guess, okay, you know what? Better example, Frank. I'm going to protect my people, but I'm going to put a bullet in these 100 people.
Frank Castle, the Punisher.
Yeah,
just
Frank Castle,
for anyone who hasn't listened to you talk about the Punisher ad nauseum before.
That's a good point. So yeah, anyone like Frank Castle, and I think Adam, The Rock is perfect. I mean, people have been wanting it for years, and it looks good.
All right, let's move on to yours, which you wouldn't let me choose, even though it's my favorite character.
The Batman. Yes, I did take the Batman from him. So I honestly, like I said,
Which actually, just real quickly, I think I would have chosen Black Adam anyways. Like, not that I'm not excited for this Batman movie, but I think that footage really stood out to me.
Yeah, I mean, that's what we did. We picked stuff that really stood out to us.
Yeah.
And the reason this stood out to me is I'm not a huge fan of Robert Pattinson. I almost said Patrick. Pattinson. And again, I remember the stupid Twilight movies. And you were the one that told me, give him another chance, watch the other films. And Tenet sold me on him. That was the one that really sold me as he can be a good, charismatic kind of character. And because that's what he was.
Yeah, and then kind of the frenetic energy that Batman sometimes has, he also displays in Good Time. I don't love that movie, but I think his performance in it is really good. So if you're looking for another Robert Pattinson movie performance to watch, Good Time.
Good Time. I'll have to check that one out. And so I haven't been selling Robert Pattinson on it. This trailer, though, sold me on it.
Okay.
There's only a couple scenes I didn't like. I didn't like the gothic kind of look to him. They showed a couple times where he looked like he had like baggy. Yeah. I'm going to let that slide because I don't know the full scene. This was a shot from a scene somewhere out there. Some editor and some producer said, this will look cool in our trailer. But it doesn't for me. Okay. But the rest of it sells well. And I do like that we kind of, and I don't think we've heard it in any of the films. We've heard it in the TV show where he says, I am vengeance.
Yep.
I don't think we've ever heard that line outside the TV show, have we?
I don't know.
Because in the TV show, he goes, I'm vengeance, I am the night, I am Batman.
Right.
And I love that we got that line. I was like, that was just nostalgia for me because I was like, he said it. I'm vengeance. Okay, Robert Pattinson. I like you. I see where you're going. And again, I'm kind of interested in the Penguin. Highly interested in the Riddler.
Which Colin Farrell is completely unrecognizable as the Penguin.
He isn't.
Like every time I see, I'm like, that it doesn't look like him. It doesn't sound like him. Like what the hell did they do? And I'm going to be really interested because we've only seen snippets. So I'm going to be really interested if, like, in the full movie, if I can pick out that it's him.
Yeah.
Because so far, it's like every time somebody's like, that's Colin Farrell, my brain is like, no, it's not.
No.
I know what Colin Farrell looks like, and that's not Colin Farrell.
I don't see a bullseye on his forehead. What's going on
that
here?
is not the role I associate him with. But yeah, I mean, the Riddler looks interesting as well.
I did like that was probably my favorite opening shot of the Riddler. He's just sitting there chilling.
Yeah.
And then they show the little question mark. So
Paul Dano.
I'm excited.
A good actor.
Yeah, I'm excited. So we'll see where it goes, I guess.
This was really interesting for me because I feel like there were elements of this trailer that looked really interesting and that I really am, I'm looking forward. I mean, first off, I think it's got a very talented cast. Zoe Kravitz is not my favorite actress, but I think she's could pull off.
Right?
Yeah, I think she could pull off Catwoman.
And the good thing is this is a year zero Catwoman or year one because none of them are really established.
Yeah.
He's driving looks like almost an old Camaro or something or Charger.
Yeah. So I think it's got a really talented cast. I think Matt Reeves, who's directing it, is a really talented director. He's known for his two big ones that most people know is he did the second and third movies in the Apes trilogy.
Yes.
Which I think the second
Those
one
are
is
phenomenal.
I think the second one is the best one of the trilogy. The third one I thought was really good too. But I think he's a good director. So there's a lot of talent with this. I will say that this trailer didn't excite me as much as the previous footage that we'd seen from it.
Okay.
And I think maybe the reason why was I'm not the biggest fan of Bulletproof Batman.
I do not like that either.
I really like when Batman has to outthink his opponents, when Batman has to, he is more like using misdirection and things like that to get them to shoot at something that's not him. Just walking
like
down
Robin?
a hallway. That's a crowbar, not bullets. But just walking down a hallway, I think it'll be really interesting to see how it works in the story. Because I think there is a version of Batman, and especially early Batman, who is more of just kind of a brute force that doesn't really understand all those things. And so it's like, this could be an interesting way to tell it, and maybe he'll evolve more into that character who is more reliant on stealth and misdirection and things like that. But that was my one kind of thing where I'm like, I'm not loving that he can just walk down a hallway taking machine gun fire and have it not affect him at all. That's not, like Iron Man doing that, yeah. That makes sense.
Yeah.
But Batman, like that doesn't feel right to me. So that was my one big thing. And honestly, that was a big portion where I was like, ooh, like I really hope they don't lean on that too heavily.
And hopefully, again, maybe it was just that one shot. You know, there are times where he's played around with the idea of wearing bulletproof vests.
Sure.
Or wearing like technology to deflect bullets. I think one of the animated shorts they did when the Batman Begins films were coming out.
Yeah.
One of the shorts was he wore a almost an electromagnetic field that deflected the bullets away from him.
Yeah.
But what happened is when a bullet shot it deflected into a criminal, and he was going to bleed out. So he actually had to save that criminal and let the other criminals get away because he didn't want that guy to die. And he said, "No more. I'm never going to wear this because I don't want someone else to get hurt."
Right.
So, I mean, you're right. And I've never been a big fan of it. Small arm fire, I'm okay with. Like if it's a 22 or something small, that's okay. He may have something light to protect him from that.
Yeah.
But that would be the most I would let him get away with.
Again, and I just think like you're taking 50 shots, in 10 seconds. It feels wrong. It feels wrong for the character. And so that was just kind of, I thought, again, I think there's a lot of talent involved in this.
What's his place in Alfred?
Yeah, Andy Serkis.
We saw a little bit of him in this too, right?
Uh-huh. And again, that's a connection there between the Apes franchises. He played Caesar in that alongside Matt Reeves. So, yeah, I mean, again, it looks like it could be phenomenal. It looks like it could be super interesting. Jeffrey Wright as Commissioner Gordon, who we just saw as the Watcher, voicing the Watcher. He's also in the Bond movies. He's Felix Leiter. That's Jeffrey Wright. So, again...
Why do you remind me of that?
I don't know. But anyways, like, there's so many good, talented people involved in this that I'm willing to... I'm very excited. I love Batman, and I think that a detective story where it's a psychological movie, like that is very intriguing to me. It's just I was turned off by Bulletproof Batman, so hopefully it's just that's just very minor, and something that maybe even a play on the scene you were just talking about, like when maybe he's doing that and then he's wearing something that deflects bullets and then like people bleed out and die or something and he resolves not to do that again. I don't know.
We'll see.
But I that was my one kind of thing where I was like, I'm not a fan.
No, I get that. He's supposed to be a ninja. Ninja vanish.
Yeah, Ninja Batman is my favorite version.
Yeah, Ninja Batman with detective.
Oh, absolutely.
So next one.
All right.
DC, go check out all the other stuff, by the way.
Yeah, DC fandom really had a lot of stuff, and then do you want to stick with DC or you want to move over to the MCU?
Let's stick with DC.
Okay, so that means we got to talk about the controversy.
That my shoes hurt?
No.
Oh.
So Ruby Rose, who was Batwoman, for one season. On the CW, I think.
Yep, it was on the CW. Back 2019 to 2020.
And she left production after the first season, and there were a lot of rumors. There was all, kind of a statement that she was stepping away from the role. And, there were a lot of rumors as to why. There were rumors about, some disagreements on set. There were rumors about that she was
hard to work with.
Well, and she had an injury, and she kind of said, I came back too soon, and it's just too taxing for me. And then there was a rumor that the suit that she had worn she'd had an allergic reaction to, and there was a lot of smoke and mirrors. Well, this week she came out and basically just blasted WB.
Everybody
said, the producers, some of the other
actors,
former president, that it was horrible working conditions, that after her injury, they made her come back too soon and basically said, if you don't come back, we're going to cancel the show and everybody's going to lose their jobs and that's going to be on you. It's going to be your fault. So she felt pressure to come back before she was fully recovered. Again, there was a lot of allegations in what she said. WB fired back and said basically, she's telling an alternate version of events that didn't happen. She was fired because of all sorts of her conduct. There were multiple complaints about her conduct on set, and so we fired her, which she also acknowledged that she was fired. not that it was a resignation.
They said that they just didn't renew the contract with her, I thought, or something like that.
Oh no, they said fired.
Oh, they said fired. Okay. I thought I had read it different.
Yeah, but basically, it's very much a he said, she said. Mm-hmm. It's yet again WB and DC being blasted by a talent. An actor. I mean, at first it was Ray Fisher with everything that went on the Justice League set with Joss Whedon and Jeff Johns and some of the other producers. Gal Gadot has even come out and said that Joss Whedon was very unprofessional on set and threatened her career. And so there's a lot of messiness happening, kind of in the movie division. And then now this is, again, I don't know who to believe, what to believe. It's not, I wasn't there. I don't know. Neither side is, has publicly, been corroborated by anyone else. So there haven't been people that were also there coming out and supporting her, nor has anyone come out and said she's totally lying, except for WB. So it's one of those things where it's like, I don't know what to believe. And I don't know that it really matters other than to say that this is starting to become a pattern for WB, and that's not a good thing.
I mean, if you also think about it, you can throw in, and I'm just going to add a little more, I guess, fire to this pot. You got everything with Johnny Depp that happened and Amber Heard, and where WB decided to stand with that, letting Johnny Depp go from all their stuff. Yeah,
from the Fantastic Beasts franchise.
The whole franchise. Who owns Pirates? Well, it's Disney owns Pirates. Right?
Yeah, Disney's on Pirates. But yeah, I mean,
Harry Potter
WB does Harry Potter. So,
and they kicked him from that, but let's keep the...
Well, again, the official wording with that was that he chose to walk away because he didn't want to be a distraction to the production, whatever. Whether or not that's true, but that's the official wording. He was not officially fired by WB.
But we're keeping Amber Heard for Aquaman too.
They certainly are. And I mean, she even came back for a Justice League reshoot with Zack Snyder. Because that final scene,
that's right, the final scene.
She was in that.
Stupidest scene of the whole film, Zack Snyder.
It was pretty dumb.
Okay. I had a glare.
It was pretty dumb.
It was terrible.
Yeah, glare at the camera that's not going to be used for this audio podcast.
Look, the people felt the glare.
Did they?
The Snyder, he's somewhere. He just had like a little ooh, that hurt. And then he made like $100 as he
Obi-Wan Kenobi, I just felt a great disturbance in the Force.
He felt it. He's just like looking at his wife. He's like, takes a sip of his fancy scotch and puts it back down.
Yep.
So, yeah, I don't know. WB's just... They're going to get caught up in something again, and it's not going to be pretty no matter what.
Yeah, and again, we don't know.
Nobody knows.
We don't know what the truth is, whether or not WB will open up an investigation into her claims or allegations like they did with the Ray Fisher allegations. They haven't announced anything as of the time that we're recording this.
No.
They seem like their default is to go on offense. They did it with Ray Fisher too, where they basically fired back at him like he's lying, this isn't true. Now, then, of course, as more things came to light with his situation, turns out he probably wasn't lying, and there was a whole lot of crap going on that set. So they immediately came back out, and I think they even said that she was telling revisionist history is the way that they said it. So again, they're going on offense. They're attacking the actress, whether or not, again, she's actually telling the truth or whatever. Whatever this is motivated by, it's been more than a year since this whole situation happened. Not to say that that's inappropriate, because sometimes, especially if there's trauma associated, that can take a long time for people to confront and talk about publicly.
It takes a while to work through it yourself. You have to make sure you're not reigniting that damage for yourself.
So, we'll follow the story. I don't know that we really have any commentary just because it's so early on and we don't have details other than just she made these allegations. WB said it's not true. I tend to side more with people over corporations, but I also, I don't know.
Where would Dr. Doom lie? He would probably go with himself. So yes, I'll go against corporations.
Dr. Doom would probably try to use the situation to his advantage.
And then take over the company.
Take over the company. That's Dr. Doom.
Never mind. Whatever side he picks. No.
You know, like those old bracelets, WWJD? Do you have one that's like WWDDD?
What would Dr. Doom do? Yes. That's what I want next. Give me a tattoo. It's gonna be a little picture of Dr. Doom.
I'm gonna need to commission an artist to make a T-shirt for you. That's just what would Dr. Doom do?
That's what I'm gonna default. It's either gonna be him or Spider-Man, and I feel like I should default to Dr. Doom in this one, not Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Because Spider-Man would be like,
Spider-Man would just take some pictures.
He would, and then he'd make money, and then he's like, cool, guys, bye. Dr. Doom's going to be like, I side with Ruby Rose, and then somehow take over WB, own them, and then be like, now we own a movie studio.
Pretty much, yeah.
So, I don't know, guys. So moving on, though.
Let's talk about the MCU.
So, are we going to, or is it going to be delayed too?
Well, let's talk about Eternals first. So
Okay,
Eternals is coming out on November 5th, so it's right around the corner. It has screened in a couple places. There's been some spoilers out there. We are not going to talk about those spoilers on this podcast because
I've avoided them, actually.
I've seen a couple of them, which I'm not necessarily happy about the fact that I've seen them. But I'm also not that I'm not happy about what it reveals. It's just more like I didn't want to be spoiled. But I saw it
somehow.
But I don't want to do that for anyone else, so I'm not going to spoil anything. But
just work a lot, and you'll never see it. That's what I do.
Well, I do work a lot, but that didn't help me. But anyways, so reactions are in, just from first screening reactions. These aren't actual reviews because the embargo hasn't lifted on that yet. But basically, number one, we know it's a very long movie. I think it's the second longest movie in the MCU. They said only Avengers Endgame is longer than this movie because it's like 240.
I was going to say 2.5.
Something like that. So it is a long movie. Again, there's a lot of characters to introduce. There's a lot of, so I think that makes sense.
That's a good time, though. You spend probably like a good 40 minutes introducing everybody.
But most of the reactions have come through that said this is very different, very fresh, different than anything the MCU has done before.
Fresh, you say.
One of the comments that I saw that this person was saying, like, this is a compliment. And the biggest compliment I can say is that this is not a Marvel movie. This is a Chloe Zhao movie, who's the director of that. So at least in their minds, they felt it had a very distinct feeling to it. Again, that it was different than anything else that has come before in the MCU.
Her movie that she got, she won an award.
She won the Academy Award for Nomadland.
Nomadland, that's what it is. Okay.
So again, I don't know anything about these characters. I think the trailers have looked beautiful. They did, again, some of the reviewers said the story has a lot of emotion. It has a lot of, really good kind of, I haven't really seen anybody that say like the action was eye-popping or anything like that. I'm assuming it probably is and is good, but people just saying like there's a lot to unpack, that it's a very, there's a lot going on in the story, but I think most people were coming away feeling like this was fresh and new and exciting, and the general consensus is that, Marvel has done it again. They've reinvented something else. They've come out with something that nobody else expected them to.
They reinvented the wheel.
And, have made another movie that people are going to love.
Exactly. And I honestly skipped the spoilers. I've been lucky enough because I don't really watch a lot of anything, so I never see it, and I don't read a lot of different news stuff. I'm excited.
It's a good thing you do a news podcast about geeky stuff.
I follow our stuff, and I follow the stuff we're going to talk about, but I'm not going to go accidentally run across stuff.
I got you.
But I mean, I'm excited for it. I mean, again, this is a lot of characters in it, a lot of big actresses and actors, and of course, the big guy himself, the Celestial. And maybe Galactus and the Silver Surfer. I can pray. And Dr. Doom is going to be back there being like, how can I take all their powers?
No spoilers.
And Mephisto. Mephisto's in there, I'm sure. Is Mephisto in the spoilers?
No spoilers.
Dang it. I want to know if Mephisto's there.
You'll just have to wait until we go see the movie.
I guess. So on that note, but there's delays in all the other movies.
There were, Basically, so we've got 2 more movies coming out this year. We've got Eternals and we've got Spider-Man.
Spider-Man.
And then we were supposed to get Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness coming in March of 2022. And there were supposed to be 4 total movies coming out. So it was like March, it was May, it was, I think, July.
I was about to look that up too.
And then, another one like in November. And basically, Marvel has pushed back everything one slot. So Doctor Strange was supposed to come out in March. Now it's coming out in May. I think it was Thor maybe, or Guardians. Like there's everything is just being pushed back kind of one slot.
It's like one slot, like 2 months or 3 months or so, and that's it.
So it's not really gonna have a huge impact, just because
Thor goes to May to July, Panther goes from July to November.
Yeah, and then whatever was in November is getting pushed back. I think that's...
Jumping in November. The Marvels has been postponed to early 2023. Ant-Man and Wasp is pushed from February 2023 to July 2023.
Yeah. And so basically, again, they're pushing everything back a little bit. I'm sure this has to do with like COVID production. I think it also probably has to do with their Disney Plus shows. They're doing so many of those shows. And so I think they maybe aren't feeling quite the same amount of pressure to get a movie out so quickly, just because they have all these other things that are coming. Because again, we're about to get Hawkeye.
Yeah.
We know the Miss Marvel series is coming. Moon Knight's in production. We don't know exactly when we're going to get that. There's been plenty of rumors about plenty of other shows as well. So I think that, I think the MCU, I think they know what they're doing. When they announced all of these release dates, it was pre-pandemic. That they were going to be shifting to four movies a year. So this is scaling it back to the usual 3 for the next couple of years. I think we will get back to that 4 movies a year, a couple of years down the road. But, this is kind of, okay, we're going to have 3 again in 2022. We got 4 this year because we got Black Widow, we got Shang-Chi, we're going to get Eternals, and we're going to get Spider-Man.
Yeah.
And we're going to go back to 3 for next year, 3 for the year after, and then we'll see after that. So I don't think this is major news, other than we just won't get some of these movies as soon as maybe we would have liked.
Yeah.
I was always very surprised we were getting Multiverse of Madness in March because they brought on Sam Raimi late in that production because they originally, it was supposed to be Scott Derrickson who did the first Doctor Strange movie. And I think they only announced that like early this year. Like it was like January, February timeframe. So a year turnaround for a movie that you would have to imagine is going to have a lot of special effects. Was always pretty ambitious to me. So the fact that they pushed it back a couple of months and, just kind of pushed everything else as well, I think it just kind of makes sense.
It does. Now, I just want to say one thing.
Yeah.
And I didn't, we didn't say this. We would talk about this. Is there any rumor that you wanted to hear about or see about, like come out? There's one rumor that's come out that I'm like, I want to know if it's true. Is there one that...
There are so many rumors out there about the MCU, so I don't know which one you're referring to.
World War Hulk supposedly
did see that rumor.
It was supposedly something was leaked that they're going to start post-production next year. What do you think? I just want to know real quick. I know this is a side thing, guys.
I think that would be fascinating if they tried to adapt that storyline. I think it's going to be difficult based on what they've already established.
Oh yeah, they screwed it up too much.
So it'll be really interesting. Is that a multiverse story?
Yeah, I think so.
So that could be super interesting to do that. Now, the reason they haven't made a Hulk movie since 2008's Incredible Hulk is because Universal is kind of tied up with the distribution rights of Hulk movies, and so Marvel Studios, similar to like the Spider-Man movies, they can't make it by themselves.
Yeah.
And make all the profit that they would want to. So they've put him in their Avengers movies, they put him in Thor Ragnarok, they've peppered him in other places, but they haven't made a standalone Hulk movie.
Yeah.
Since that movie came out. But I would love it because I think Mark Ruffalo is great. Yeah. I think the Hulk is great. I think I know the basic premise of World War Hulk, although I have not read it. Mm-hmm. And I think that could be a super interesting story to adapt. Again, I think it would have to be in a multiverse, type of presentation. But I would be totally on board for it. I don't know that I buy that rumor. I'm not sure that I do.
I don't, because it's just too much.
Yeah.
If they did that, they're gonna completely rewrite the story because you've killed Tony. He's not in it, and he's one of the Illuminati.
Well, again, if you're doing multiverse,
it could be
a universe where Hulk is able to somehow defeat Thanos, and you know, like I mean, I don't know.
I don't know how they would do it. But
Yeah.
then you also, would Marvel go back to the Inhumans again? Because Black Bolt is a big part. It's not a big part of it, but he is a part of it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think we've seen many times they have adapted storylines, but not necessarily kept all the same characters.
I know, but I want to see Black Bolt.
I want to
need
see
that
Black
whole-
Bolt too.
I need that part where him and the Hulk go at it, and because Black Bolt's power again is like shockwaves with his voice.
Yeah.
When he talks, he basically levels a whole building.
Right.
And when Hulk confronts him, he says a whisper, and Hulk says, "I didn't come to hear you whisper. I came to hear you scream." And took the hit like nothing. And I'm like, I need that Hulk. I need that Hulk now.
Yeah, I think Black Bolt is a super interesting character, and I would love I can imagine how difficult it is to bring a character like that to screen.
Oh my God,
Because literally you have a character who can't talk.
And the show didn't do well, right? The show was only like, 4 episodes or something?
I think they made 6 or 8. It was universally panned. Everyone hated it. It was canceled before it debuted. I'm not kidding.
Do you remember the first 2 episodes were in theater?
Yeah, they released them on IMAX.
Yeah.
Which
I did not see that.
No, it is still the only thing put out by Marvel Studios since Iron Man, and it wasn't actually Marvel Studios. It was Marvel Productions. It was the TV side of Marvel, which they did like Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. They were also responsible for the Netflix stuff. It was that same studio that did all those. But that's literally the only Marvel stuff that's come out since the first Iron Man that I have refused to watch. I'm like, I don't want to see this. Everything I saw about it was it looks terrible. And again, I think the Inhumans are kind of fascinating characters. So I really do want a Black Bolt. And hopefully we get that at some point.
I hope so too. So the last bit of news, because we went on a tangent, because I threw us into that. Uncharted trailer came out.
Yeah.
Which it's with Tom Holland.
Tom Holland, Mark Wahlberg, Antonio Banderas.
I was excited to see Antonio Banderas.
Yeah. And then I don't really know the female lead. She's not someone I've seen in other things before.
Same. I don't know her, but I'm excited to see it. I was iffy with Tom Holland doing it, but he nails the comedy in it. It does seem
I'm not iffy for Tom Holland doing anything because Tom Holland's amazing.
Okay, we'll see. We'll see how he does in Multiverse. But yeah, like he nailed the comedy, I think. He did play the Nathan Drake pretty well on the comedy side that I saw. I've never played all the games. I played some of them. Mm-hmm. Like some of the games, I played a little of each basically.
Yeah.
But they looked cool. I'm excited for it though. Now, of course, game movies don't necessarily do well.
Even the character has drawn lots of comparisons to Indiana Jones.
He is, basically.
He debuted in the games. And so,
yeah,
action adventure, treasure hunting, swashbuckling kind of things. Like, sure, I'm on board for that. If you tell me an interesting story. I didn't play the games really either. I really like Tom Holland. I'm not the biggest Mark Wahlberg fan.
I love Antonio though.
I love Antonio Banderas too. But yeah, I mean, we'll see, because this trailer didn't really hook me. Yeah. I think that there were aspects of it that looked fun and interesting, but it also kind of looked like a generic action adventure movie.
Exactly.
And that was kind of like, I obviously, as a person who didn't play the games, I'm not going to catch all the little Easter eggs that are probably in this or will be in the movie. Like, I'm not going to know all those little, like, either the quirks or the sayings or whatever, like the various character things. Like, those things are not going to stand out to me. So what I'm looking for is this going to be interesting? Is this going to have compelling characters going on and an interesting journey? And so far, this looks pretty generic and cookie cutter. It's like, we've been after this treasure for hundreds of years. It's the biggest treasure, and I'm like, oh, okay, so
it's just going to be National Treasure.
Like, well, it's National Treasure, or it's any number of like the
Indiana Jones films.
Search for the Lost City of Atlantis. The Lost City of Gold. Like, that was the vibe I was getting. I wasn't really getting that this is anything unique or new that it was bringing. And so that was kind of like, it could still be good. It could still be fun. I mean, there's plenty of things out there that you go, they didn't really do anything new, but I still had a fun time.
As long as
so
you do.
Maybe this will be that. But yeah, the trailer didn't blow me away. As a non-gamer fan, as a non-Uncharted fan, this was kind of like, okay, it looks like a action adventure movie with some actors that I like. Yeah. I'll probably go see it, and then we'll see.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I'm excited though. We'll see where it goes. I mean, I'm hoping they do games justice soon.
Yeah.
So, but on that note, guys, we've been rambling for a little while, and I think we're gonna call it here. On that note, of course, guys, remember to go follow us on all of our social media platforms on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, all at official GYGO. Go check out all of our videos up there and other podcasts like Robert Does High Five. We have some reviews that me and Duffy do, and Destiny's helped us a little bit with some other ones. So definitely go check out everything we're posting. Hopefully you're enjoying all the content, and of course, stay geeky and get your geek on.
Bye.